So that's kind of our big talk for this week. Is there's a lot of stuff happening for the end of this year of programs that have been around or been planned since I was graduating college, learning about this stuff. And it's a lesson in making sure that you have backup plans and that programs don't get too expensive to the point where it's difficult to get funding once things aren't going your way or things get tough, right? Space always has historically had a hard time finding funding when either the interest waned, just like when we went to the moon for the first time, went a whole bunch of times, and then everyone was like, well, we've been to the moon already. What's the next step? And then once you decide what that next step is, having the foresight to have the next plan be something that can have multiple requests for programs, right? The space shuttle was great, but ultimately we weren't advancing. We weren't doing anything. We were building an incredible environment on the International Space Station, right? A societal example of people working internationally and solving problems in orbit, and it's taught us so much about living in zero gravity and about our planet, but it has had a hard time keeping the funding going, and it's still up there because it's still up there, right? It's still up there because they were able to find enough funding to keep it running. But again, we spent so much money spending towards sending our own astronauts on not our own system. We were paying per seat on the Soyuz system, which, when you talk about wasting money for a program, I mean, we did that for almost a decade. And how much money could we have spent somewhere else had we allocated that differently or had another option to launch into space? But that's the beautiful thing about Launch America. That's the beautiful thing about this Crew 3 mission and what SpaceX has done and what Boeing will do at some point with the CST 100 Starliner. And then at some point with Orion, with Artemis 1, we're going to see the first steps towards sending the first woman and the next man to the moon. So there's a lot to come.